Right, welcome to the Public Works and Protective Services Committee meeting of November 18th. We do acknowledge that we appreciate being able to share this land with our First Nations neighbors. Could we have a motion to approve the agenda? Moved by Councillor, moved by Mayor Little, seconded by Councillor Donaldson. Any questions? All in favor? We have a presentation tonight from Lavinia Rojas about a resolution to the AVICC and the UBCM about a province-wide ban on consumer fireworks. So ladies, if you'd like to come up to the microphone and give us a little introduction.
Good evening, council members. I am pleased to learn about your decision to ban fireworks in your municipality. Thank you for prioritizing your community. I respectfully ask for your consideration. I better put my glasses on. Sorry. Okay. I respectfully ask for your consideration and request that the City Council explore the possibility of putting forward a resolution to the Association of Vancouver Island and Coastal Communities, AVICC, this upcoming April 2025 regarding a potential province-wide ban on fireworks. This proposed resolution aims to address the growing concerns shared by many communities about the impact of fireworks on public safety, wildlife, pets, birds, and environment. The time has come to move beyond piecemeal restrictions and adopt a wide ban on fireworks. It is crucial that we prioritize safety and well-being by allowing only licensed professionals to display fireworks in our two celebrations, New Year and Victoria Day. Various organizations, the BC Association of Chiefs of Police, local fire chiefs, and all animal organizations support fireworks bans due to safety and environmental concerns. Municipalities that still permit fireworks are increasingly seen as outliers. Fireworks can be extremely stressful for individuals with PTSD, autism, and those with heightened sensory perception, often leading to anxiety, disorientation, and panic attacks. The environmental hazards are significant, with fireworks releasing harmful chemicals, heavy metals, and particulate matter into the air and water, affecting both human health and local ecosystems. The effects on animals can be devastating. There has been tragic incidents where dogs have died from fireworks-related stress. Some dogs have been hit by cars, and one dog was hit by a train in Vancouver. Larger animals, like horses, have been euthanized due to severe injuries caused by fireworks-induced panic. The sudden disturbance can disorient birds, especially at night. This disorientation can lead to fatal outcomes, with birds colliding with buildings, cars, trees, and other obstacles. In one tragic incident, about 5,000 red-winged blackbirds died on New Year's Eve 2010 when professional-grade fireworks were illegally set off in Arkansas, USA. Hundreds of birds, primarily starlings, were found dead on the street of Rome. This incident was described as a massacre by animal rights groups. Winter fireworks can be more problematic, as some bird species roost together in large groups during colder months. In conclusion, fireworks pose a significant threat to bird populations, causing both immediate distress and long-term behavioral changes that can impact their survival. I hear that cats must be kept indoors due to their impact on bird hunting, but some don't seem to consider the horror that fireworks cause to alien wildlife. Many cities in BC have already implemented bans on consumer fireworks. These are Vancouver, the city of North Vancouver, Richmond, West Vancouver, and Port Moody. I am proud to inform you that one of the countries that fireworks has been banned is Chile, the country where I was born and raised. Many residents believe that the temporary enjoyment of fireworks does not outweigh these harms. I believe live display instead of fireworks at any time. And if you allow me, I would like to read a letter that I received from the BC SPCA a few years ago. Thank you for your consideration. Each year, our shelters receive scores of stray animals that have become lost to firework blasts. Veterinarians inform us of examples of animals that require treatment because of injuries sustained from being frightened by firework blast. Some animals are particularly fearful and panic and run into traffic, or cattle and horses charge through barbed wire fences. Particularly distressing is that cats become permanently separated from their guardians because they end up in our shelters and cannot be returned to their guardians because they lack identification or worse, left wandering on the streets. Not only this is an animal welfare problem, but unnecessary strains in the limited resources humane organizations must incur to assist the animal victims. Even more serious is that our provincial constables have had to deal with intentional cruelty from individuals that direct class at animals. Further, in a recent case, a youth inserted a firecracker in the rectum of a cat. And I am hoping that the chief of the fire department will support us. And I know the BCSPCA also will. What else is there? There was another one. The police, of course.
Police, yeah.
Yes. So, thank you so much. Wow.
Thank you.
Hello, thank you so much for listening to our concerns. I will be brief, as much has already been said, and you received materials we sent you. Only a comprehensive provincial ban can address the issues of fireworks uniformly and effectively throughout our communities. Such a ban would eliminate confusion about where and when fireworks are allowed, streamline enforcement efforts, prevent the exploitation of differing municipal regulations, and ensure consistent protection for all residents, animals, and environments across the province. I would like to give you a few examples of damage that fireworks have caused. An estimated 40% of BC wildfires are started by human activities, which of course includes fireworks. Just this July in Nanaimo, fireworks set off by a group of young people sparked a fire in Piper's Lagoon Park, an ecologically sensitive space. Injuries are also common every year. In one instance, a teen in Vancouver was hurt when a firework blew up in his hand. The noise of fireworks seriously affects animals and our beloved pets. Horses on a BC farm have panicked and injured themselves trying to flee from fireworks noise. They broke through fences, sustaining cuts, broken bones, and worse. Dogs in urban areas have escaped yards in terror, getting lost and hit by cars. Nesting seabirds have abandoned their nests en masse when startled by fireworks, leaving eggs and chicks vulnerable. Migratory birds resting in Metro Vancouver parks have become disoriented by fireworks, resulting in them flying into buildings at night. And humans are also affected. Refugees in Vancouver from war-torn countries have told about panic attacks and PTSD triggered by unexpected fireworks sounds. And I've also heard some stories about our war veterans being affected. Sadly, we all have a few examples of our own about the effects of fireworks. Let's do something about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Your name, please.
Oh, Andrea Miller.
Thank you. Councillor, do you have any questions for Andrea or Lavinia? Mr. Schiffer? If you could just come back to the mic, one of you, and we have maybe some questions for you.
Great. Thank you for your presentation.
You're very welcome.
I'm sensing that we'd be pretty much aligned with your message to some degree. We've taken steps to ban the use of fireworks, and I think in large part in response to concerns we've had from livestock owners. So yeah, we've certainly heard local concerns. But a question for you, sounds to me like you're probably going to other local governments in the CRD.
Yes,
Can you tell me?
Yes, we went to Victoria already,
Okay.
and we're going to View Royal tomorrow, and I believe we're planning to go to Langford.
I'm still waiting for...
We're waiting for some confirmations, but yeah, we're planning to go to all of the ones in the CRD, if not in person like tonight, by letter or Zoom or something.
Okay. Have you had a positive response in terms of a resolution, or have they?
We just went to Victoria was our first one. That was just on Thursday, so we haven't heard back. You're our second, and so hopefully we'll hear something soon, maybe from you. The thing about it's good that each community does a ban, but it's not really comprehensive, and a lot of times it's not being enforced. So that's why we're here, to see if maybe if it was provincial wide, if that would be more effective.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
Okay. Any other questions?
I would like to say something.
Sure.
My understanding is that when we have organizations such as the BCSPCA, the Sarah Herring, she is the person, what do you call it? She has the authorization with the provincial government to do recommendations, and also speak at the union of municipalities, because essentially what we want is to end up union of municipalities, where they will make it a vote, but you probably know all this, to send it to the provincial government for a consideration. So, but for that, we need to have organizations backing up. So I have talked to Sarah Herrings. I have the police chief, and unfortunately the chief of fire, Roger Hollander, he is away. He's coming back on Wednesday, and I am hoping to get his letter, and I will email it to you, because we need to have that in order to go into the next step, which is AVICC, where they will vote, and to go to Vancouver for the conference next year.
Okay, well, thank you, and thank you very much for coming.
You're very welcome.
All right, moving on to participation. Anyone like to speak for this meeting tonight?
So hello, my name is Anna Whiting. I live on Arden Road. To go towards the conversation of fireworks on this topic, I'd like to present myself as the Vice President of the Mid-Chosen Equestrian Society. January 1st this year, we had one of our members injured due to fireworks being set off on the property directly next door to hers. The new residents to that property were not fully aware of the impact that the fireworks had, and they had not drawn a permit, much like every other person who has set off fireworks in our municipality in the past 10 years. From what I understand, there's been one person that has asked for a permit, and there has been absolutely more than one person setting off fireworks in our community. These fireworks are set off not just on the day, which allows equestrians the ability to put ear stuffies, to sedate, to make our animals as safe as possible when they are freaking out. These animals are about 1,200 pounds on average and can really seriously hurt themselves, hurt others, get loose and cause havoc, and just generally not safe. So on behalf of the Chosen Equestrian Society, I would like to suggest that either yes, a full ban, seeing as the permit system is not operating as intended, would be greatly appreciated, or at the very least, a much better community awareness program be stood up to make people aware of why setting off fireworks 2 days before Halloween or 3 days after Halloween, because it's conveniently not on like a Wednesday, would make a lot of sense. Gives us animal owners a better chance to support our creatures and make it safer for the community in whole.
Great, thank you very much.
Beth Bacon, I'm a Chosen resident, and I wholeheartedly support the move for a province-wide ban on fireworks. And I'm speaking for the wild animals, the domestic animals, and the pets. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else for public participation? All right, with that, we'll move on to adoption of minutes. We have the Public Works and Productive Services Committee meeting of October 21st. Moved by Mayor Little, seconded by Councillor Gray. Any discussion?
Just might suggest we add the word in the very final, next to last motion. It reads the concept that we support in principle the concept of Metchosin Wellness Collective, and I think it was the concept of the Metchosin Wellness Collective rental. It was the idea that they were looking to rent a room at the school.
I'm not sure. Was it? Or was it just that we support the idea that they're what they are planning to do?
Don't know, but we did discuss it, that I think they're planning to rent a spot at the school.
Right.
Yeah. And I haven't seen the proposal, like what they're actually proposing. So I thought we were discussing the rental. I think either way, but just to remember, we are hoping to rent a room.
Ms. Miller, what do you think?
Make a motion to amend the minutes if needed.
Sure. All right. We can.
I thought it was, we liked the whole concept.
Yeah.
And with that, we were interested in them renting. But I think it was the whole concept that wellness center in Metchosin would be greatly appreciated. I thought that's what the discussion was.
Yeah, I thought that was too, because we did direct staff to proceed with negotiations regarding a possible rental.
I'm good with that.
Oh, okay.
Just if
All right.
it helped
Thank you.
for anybody to know what we were up to.
Okay, any other discussion on that one? Okay, call a question. All in favor? Okay, thank you. And then the next meeting, I do have a couple of corrections on the Healthy Community Advisory Select Committee meeting on October 22nd, 7A and 7C. Find it here. 7A, it does mention the Wellness Collective proposal, and it says 2 physiotherapists, which should say 2 massage therapists.
Thanks, that was kind of what I was getting at.
Yes, and then further down under 7C mentions an online music night under the seniors notice, and it says Dan Gallant, but it's Dave.
I'll move receipt.
Okay, moved by Councillor Gray, seconded by Councillor Donaldson. Discussion. Councillor Donaldson.
So on same section of what you're referring to there, 7E, it says working with Juan Fuca to provide more community for safety. What is Juan Fuca? What agency?
It's referring to the West Shore Parks and Rec.
Okay.
I think instead of, yeah, we should change that one too. All right, anything else? All right, call a question. All in favor? It's passed. All right, right, so we can right on to a councillor's update. Not too long, I know we're going to have a long meeting tonight, likely. So just to mention, with Public Works, I just, for the community to be a little bit patient with the guys. I think the last windstorm that we had, I know there was a lot of trees down and a lot of issues, and you know they do get to things as soon as they possibly can. And so if there are complaints, just leave a message at the office if possible, and they'll get to your issue as soon as they can. So the Chosen Senior Association, just make note, they're putting on the annual this last year and this year anyway, Holiday Lights Tour in an LA limo bus. So that's December 18th. This time it's going to be for seniors only. The tickets are $25. And we did get a response from both Rogers and TELUS regarding cell service. So, you know, it was nice to hear back from them that they did receive our letter and appreciated it. And, well, you never know, it can't hurt anyway. Recent workshops that we've had included the Municipal Protected Areas Project. It was an online meeting, and Councillor Shukin and I think both were at watched that one. It did have some interesting things, and that possibly might pertain to the buffer land about mostly the BC Federation of Naturalists and the Canada Protected Areas database. Which, you know, there's just a few things about that be worth looking into. The other workshop was out, and it sounds like the way I wrote it, like the dumping was at the Saanich Fairgrounds, but it was the actual workshop on illegal field dumping. And the CRD was at the fairgrounds, sponsored by the Peninsula and Area Agricultural Commission. There was just some points I'll quickly run through. There was a lot of points. It was a really an informative workshop. But that a lot of them mentioned, the bylaw officers and the other officials that were there, that many of our municipal bylaws regarding soil dumping are years out of date, which makes it difficult for enforcement. And when people are creating new bylaws, the Agricultural Land Commission staff will provide comments and recommendations, so it ensures consistency with the ALC Act. One thing I never knew was that the term clean fill, which we always kind of think that that's going to be okay, dirt or whatever to put on our property, it's not defined or approved under the ALC Act, so something to be aware of if someone wants to bring some fill onto your property. Because the majority of the ALC files are on illegal, unauthorized soil dumping or removal. One of the bylaw officers says that compliance has become very difficult in the last few years. People are more willing to fight. And one comment they had about that was that we should be ticketing every day until they finally decide to pay it, and if they don't, then it's time to put a notice on their property, on the title, so that at least when they go to sell, you know, that will be there for the future. They thought it was very important to have consistency across the municipalities as far as our bylaws. One thing to look at possibly would be the city of Richmond, because there was a couple of reps there from Richmond, and they spent a long time working on their new soil bylaw, and one of the comments in that was that they charged volume fees for fill. And those are most points that I picked up about it, but it was really worthwhile. Councillor Shukin.
Thanks, Councillor. Great observations. And it was neat to hang out with you and Councillor Donaldson for the afternoon. I think it was a great program. I just want to tip my hat to Ron Tunnicliffe, who organized it on behalf of the Peninsula Agricultural Areas Commission. Thank you, Pat. And also Sasha Kubicek, who was there as well. There was a number of Metchosin residents. I thought one of the highlights for me was meeting the ALC staff. And, you know, I sense very much they're diligent. They're often hamstrung, though, just because of the complexity of the situation, but also some of the time it takes to really bring out some of the enforcement tools. So, yeah, that was great. One thing about the city of Richmond, I think it was Richmond, they have a soil deposit bylaw officer. That's his job, is to look at soil deposit. He was there and provided great insights to the group, so thanks.
Yeah, it was good. Yes, Councillor Donaldson.
Yeah, the one big takeaway for me was, as well as meeting all these different officers, it was a cross-section of people. We had developers there, we had truckers there, all sorts of people. Lots of farmers, of course, and many residents from Metchosin were there, so that was cool. Similar to what we did with the dog working group, the suggestion that came out when we did our breakout sessions is the sharing of knowledge. And so when we looked at our animal bylaw here, we also looked at the CRD animal bylaw. And so the scope of information that we gathered to create this bylaw now is being used even in other municipalities. This is something that actually stood out here with the table that we were at with how to do enforcement, that sort of thing. Because for the officers to be able to go to one municipality and another, and the rules are a little bit different, but if they had more of an even playing field as far as everybody working from the same song sheet and sharing that knowledge. So if we're getting people, and right now, even though it's out of season, there are a lot of dump trucks coming into Metchosin dumping material of some sort. We don't know what the material is, so there's no permitting on the other end, whatever community they're coming from, what's that soil that's coming into our community. And so if we had that conversation with our neighboring communities, and we've got really good relations with our mayors right now, and we have with our colleagues in those communities, if we start sharing that knowledge and working together to have a better bylaw, similar maybe to Richmond as an option, I don't know, but it would make it much easier for these people to do their jobs and to have community awareness. We talk about community awareness with fireworks and such, but this council has actually put the information in the news as to, because somebody asked me if they could get aggregate in for their paddock, for their horse or their cows, and actually it says there in the last news that you cannot bring in gravel. Clean or not, doesn't really matter, you just cannot bring in any kind of aggregate at this time of year. So the knowledge isn't out there for everyone, including within our own scope of Metchosin residents. So working with our neighboring municipalities certainly would be a benefit, or even across the CRD.
Well, thanks. One other thing of note was that when someone is getting a permit to remove or bring in soil, is that we should know where that soil is coming from and where it's going, just to add an extra layer. Anyway, Councillor Gray.
Yeah, just a question. It sounds like it was a useful workshop and great information. Is there some action that might come from this? Should we send this, or are we interested in asking staff or asking the Ag Committee, or what might be done? I hear there's holes in the system and maybe we need to plug some of those holes.
Well, for me, I think we've got, we do have some bylaws on tap that we're trying to get through. I think once we get those done, then maybe it's time, maybe in our strategic plan, we can start looking at some other bylaws that might need to be updated, or some things for the future. Councillor Sheehan.
Just a response to Councillor Gray. The Robin and team at PAC were going to draft a next steps approach. What I heard right at the end there was the need for intermunicipal cohesion and like a working together.
The consistency was important.
Exactly. Yeah, that's right. So I think they are working on something, and see where it goes. So.
Right. Okay, the vegetarian chili was really good too. All right, moving on to correspondence, and what we have is the letter from Ms. Rojas about the fireworks. So I'd like to make a motion that we do support this, the possibility of a resolution going to the AVICC and the UBCM. We'll see how it progresses with the other municipalities. Okay, so I moved that and seconded by Councillor Donaldson. Any discussion?
I have an edge of misgiving about moving ahead with this too quickly, but I'll bury it for now. I will support the motion. The one thing to maybe do is just keep on top of who else is supporting this. The only misgiving I have is that we speak with more of a collective voice than just Metchosin. So just making others aware of, or being aware of what else is going on out there. So.
Yeah, well, I think that's sort of the first step toward that. So, any other discussion on it? Okay, call question. All in favor? That is passed. Right, we have no other business, so motion to adjourn. Moved by Mayor Little, seconded by Councillor Donaldson. All in favor?